Hello, everyone. My name is Rustam, and I am head of Dynamic Analysis Department at Group IB. And I'm going to tell you about new tools of Silence Hacking Group, about modifications they made to their toolbox, recent attacks, and evolution in TTPS in 2019. So, as always, this webinar is being recorded and will email later your recording and slides. If you have questions, please use Q&A panel and feel free asking me. So I don't want to focus on information we give in previous report last year, but I need to make small introduction about previous attacks made by Silence to show differences between previous tools and nowadays tools and changes in their preparation stage. Also, if you want to get this information in details, you can go to our website and download our previous reports. Also, I made presentations last year on CCC conference at Singapore and BotConf conference at France last year. So first attack known to us made by Silence happened in 2016. This incident happened in Russian bank not later than in June 13, 2016. Traces of the use of WinXC utility appeared. WinXC utility is an analog of ps-exec utility for Linux, which allows you to control a PC under Windows operating system via SMB protocol. A month later, hackers tried to make a payment through AWS CBR system. It is analog of SWIFT system in Russia, but they made a mistake in the payment, and security system blocked the transaction, and security service of the bank began to conduct a response on their own. However, in 2 weeks, the hackers restored access to bank system, and on the next day, traces of patched kickoff backdoor and surveillance model of Silence were installed on the computer, from which operators of AWS CBR system made their transactions. Criminals decided to study operators' work and avoid repeating an error in payment. So the next day, Silence commented lines of code responsible for checking transactions. At this time, security team of the bank decided they noticed this suspicious activity in their network and decided to work with Group IB, and our IR specialists stopped the theft. Kickoff backdoor used by hackers only in 2016, and later they replaced it with their own self-made, self-developed downloader, which called TrueBot. Also, we called it Silence Downloader. You can read more about kickoff in our previous report. Next attack happened in next known attack to us happened in 2017. In 10th August, phishing email from mail.com had been sent to bank's employees. A bank employee received an email with fake antivirus mark saying that a malicious attachment had been removed. To this email, hackers attached Silence Downloader, and the victim launched this attachment, and Silence Downloader or TrueBot was executed. And the following day, on 11th August, traces of scanning the corporate network of the bank with Nmap were detected. As a result of the scan, servers which were vulnerable to CVE 2008-4250 were identified, and then Metapredator was installed on them. As a result of these actions, hackers accessed machines of operators and obtained LSAS dumps with procdump utility from sysinternals package, and use their self-developed farce utility, which is based on Mimikatz source codes. Then they obtained credentials and used them to slowly spread through the network next 2 months. On October 8, they set up a remote control program named RAdmin on ATMs and withdrew about 100,000 United States dollars overnight. During this attack, they use unique utility to control dispenser, ATM's dispenser called Atmosphere. This tool consists of 3 entities called dropper, injector, and Atmosphere's payload. Also, they used their surveillance model to learn how operators or employees of bank were working, and to compromise employees' machine as initial vector, they used link files and CHM files. In early 2018, Silence attacked another Russian bank, and in this case, they didn't attack ATM system, but card processing system. 4 mules opened 4 cards, and for these 4 prepaid cards, Silence, via compromised card processing system, removed limits, and later these 4 mules withdrew money from ATMs. In this attack, hackers stole about $500,000 United States dollars. To access card processing system, they didn't develop any program. They access card processing system via remote administration tool and manually changed limits for prepaid cards. So in our previous report, we observed these three cases, and all toolset used by Silence to manage these attacks. Total confirmed theft on Q2 2018 was about 800,000 United States dollars. Let's see how Silence changed in time period from 2018 to 2019. Such tools like reverse proxy named ProxyBot and Atmosphere haven't been changed. Main toolkit, which called Silence Framework, and which consists of silence downloader and silence main, changed slightly to avoid defense systems detection. Also, they added two new tools to the arsenal, such iVoc downloader, which is fileless first stage agent written in PowerShell. And another tool we named Empire DNS agent, which is based on Empire project and DNS Cat2 project. These projects are available publicly on GitHub, and EDA provide remote access to compromised machine via DNS protocol. Also, Silence added new ATM malware we called xfsdisp.exe, and they probably used this tool in attack on Russian IT bank in February 2019. So here you can see extended timeline, which is based on compilation timestamps of the toolset, and with red highlighted attacks on financial organizations where we identified victims. So probably there are more attacks we didn't see, but highlighted attacks where we identified victims and know about them. So typical silence attack can be divided into 6 stages. This time of period, they added recon campaign where they send huge amount of phishing emails to validate their email list. So hackers send recon email with link inside among huge list of recipients from 20 to 80,000 recipients. Those recipients who click on link inside the email will form new validated email list. We detected such campaign targeted 6 countries, Asia region, and Great Britain. On validated email list, they send spear phishing emails with attached Office documents with macros or exploits, compiled help files, CHM, and or link files, LNK. After a victim opened the attachment, first stage downloader is executed. Typically, this first stage downloader is silence downloader or TrueBot, but this year we detected using of a new tool named iVoc. To control silence downloader or iVoc, hackers use Linux-based machine from which operator manually sends a command to download the second module. On stage 3, they manage the persistence in the system, and using first stage downloader, they downloads such tools like silence main module, reverse proxy tools named proxybot and proxybot.net. To control these programs, hackers use Windows-based machine. We named it SynC3 on the scheme. During lateral movement stage, silence use utilities from sysinternals package like sdelete, procdump, and their self-developed utilities FARS, which is based on Mimikatz source code, and they use it to extract credentials from LSAS memory dumps. Also this year, we found that they downloaded a new tool we named EDA, which is based on projects Empire and DNS Cat2. To control these tools, hackers use Kali Linux-based machines. On the last stage, they execute attack and stole money via attacking ATM's network and card processing system. To control dispenser of ATM's machine, they can use two programs, Atmosphere or xfsdisk.exe. During lateral movement stage, criminals use nmap utility, and to control endpoints, they also install remote administration tool such radmin. So their first stage downloader, silence downloader, changed drastically, and as a result, some antivirus companies classify these samples as something else, not true bot, but base source code still remain old. A silence developer changed list of drive letters for generating bot ID. Also, they encrypted all strings used during execution. They added features to collect, to obtain information about compromised PC and the domain of machine. Also, that they changed paths on command and control servers and algorithms for generating file names. So if you try to compare behavior of new downloader against old downloader, they will differ drastically. On this slide, you can see how usual behavior of silence downloader on VirusTotal. So this behavior is unique, and you can confuse it with another malware. So if you see consequence of calling CMD utility, which run system utilities like hostname, ipconfig, which save output to file in roaming folder with high confidence, you can say that it is silence downloader. Also, you can see now during communication with command and control server, silence download collected information about compromised machine in encrypted form in URL in clear text. Another tool they used as first stage downloader we called IVOG. We detected attack on Russian bank this year in May, and we attributed this attack to silence because of unique of email using link file embedded attached to phishing email and infrastructure used in attack. As you can see on this picture, after a victim clicks on link file, system utility mshta.exe will be run, and Visual Basic script is executed. And after that, PowerShell script is downloaded and executed. This PowerShell script we named IVOC, and it is hosted in memory only. It never been written on disk. This first stage downloader has very limited functionality, like collecting system information and downloading second stage. The main Trojan used by Silence to make itself persistent on targeted systems, Silence main model, changed slightly. They just renamed all commands. In old main model, Russian transliteration words were used, and in recent main model, they replaced all commands to strings like NVO, DGS, IPSum, lorem, and etc. So these consequences of characters don't have any meaning. Also, they added command to upload files from compromised machine to command and control server. All other functionality remain the same. In recent samples of main model, we also see how they replaced alphabets to encode information which is sent from compromised machine to command and control server. Also, they changed variables which are used during communication with CNC server. XY characters replaced to YZ, and also changed path to main CNC script, which process communication with compromised machines. Another new tool which is used during lateral movement stage, we call Empire DNS agent. EDA has only 24 functions, most of them borrowed from DNS Cat 2, and the last one is function from Empire project. This function just handle and process commands from Empire tool. As you can see, Empire is no longer supported, but with DNS Cat project, hackers tunnel all communications into DNS protocol, and all communications with command and control server proxied via legitimate DNS servers. In one case, we detected using DNS server of hospital located in French. As you can see, all communications processed using system utility NSLOOKUP, Windows system utility, and information sent to compromised machines located in BioStream. This year, also, hackers used new ATM malware named xfsdisk.exe. We attributed this malware to silence because of PDB string inside the sample, which is related to bank IT in Russia. This malware is very simple, and after being executed, it just dispense all banknotes to mules. In May 30, there were information that someone stole about 3 million United States dollars from Deutsche Bank. So how we attributed this attack to silence. On March 2019, we hunted on VirusTotal silence proxy bot. It was uploaded from Sri Lanka, and this reverse proxy tool used IP address of server which is controlled by silence. Later in 21st May in this year, we also hunted silence main model. It was uploaded from Russia, but it also uses this IP address as command and control server. When we started to analyze communications with this command and control server, we found two IP addresses. You can see them on this screenshot. They belong to Deutsche Bank network. And as we found, this communication started in the middle of February in 2019. So it took about 4 months to make that for silence. Also, police at Bangladesh published records from CCTV. Unfortunately, I can't run this video in PowerPoint, so I share link to video later. If we run it, we can see how two men in medical masks came into bank, and they insert their credit card into ATM, and then they call someone by their phones. This behavior can tell us that someone can control ATM dispenser remotely and send command to ATM to extract all banknotes to this man. So we suppose Atmosphere tool was used to control ATMs in Deutsche Bank, or new XFS disk tool, which was used in attack on Russian IT bank. Later, some mass media reported that hackers stole money not only in Deutsche Bangla, but from ATMs in Russia, in Ukraine, and in Greece. It is possible that Silence attacked Deutsche Bangla Bank by attacking card processing system. As we know, and as we reported in previous report, they have experience in manage such attacks. But this video shows us that mules needed to call someone to get money. So it is most likely that Silence attacked Deutsche Bangla by compromising ATM networks and then installing on ATMs remote administration tools and programs like Atmosphere or xfsdisk.exe. In December 2018, we detected attacks on British financial organizations, and samples used in these attacks were signed by few digital certificates. And we found that this certificate was used not only to sign Silence downloader, but float EMI samples. We decided to compare these Trojans and these samples and found that they have very similar functions. For example, both of them have consequence calls of API functions which don't change any execution logic, and they just use to avoid detections of defense systems like sandboxes and antiviruses. And also both of them try to get 4,000 bytes from CNC answer and save it. If they receive less than 4,000 bytes, they just skip this communication and don't save or execute next stage. Also, both of them use same algorithm to create to generate bot ID. Depends on GUID string. And both of samples try to save payloads under name wsus.exe. So firstly, we decided that these attacks are connected, but then we compared infrastructure used to control float EMI samples and servers used by Silence hacking group. So Silence love to use hosting in Hostkey, DeltaHost, and DataClub SA. And Float AMI used another hosters to control their downloaders. Also, they have very different infrastructure for downloader and the payload. So as I see, a Silence servers hosted in other hosting companies that used by Float AMI threat actor. Let's make small outline of this webinar. Silence attacked following countries. You can see here this list of countries made by analyzing IP addresses communicated with Silence backends, and we didn't identify all endpoints communicated with Silence backends, so we just put here countries. Nowadays, Silence very interested in 6 countries: Eastern and Western Europe, South America, and Asia. Initial vector is phishing emails, spear phishing emails with office documents with macros and exploits inside. CHM files, and link files. The typical victims are banks and financial organizations. Also in Russia, we detected 2 attacks on banking software developers. Silence target ATMs and card processing system. They use tools like Silence Downloader, File, PowerShell IVOC Downloader, Silence main model, reverse proxy tools like Proxybot and Proxybot.net. During lateral movement stage, they use Metapreter, EDA, and FARS utility. On final stage, they use Atmosphere and XFS Disk.exe programs to control ATMs and to attack card processing system. They don't use any unique program. They access manually on system to communicate with card processing stuff. Also, they use utilities like WinXC, which is analog of PSExec for Linux. PuTTY program to establish tunnels is the lead utility to remove traces, and few self-developed cleaners. Also, they use a remote administration tool called radmin. So if you have any question, you can write now into chat. Anyway, as I know, we will send records and slides later. And if you have any questions, you may write to me, and we'll answer you. Thank you.